10 years after picking up a needle, Stacy Smith is now the co-owner of Tattoo Me Charlotte. And she was voted one of the top 10 tattoo artists in the Queen City and has a signature watercolor boho vibe style that is all her own. All of her pieces are custom, playing with tonal values and hues, resulting in what looks like a painting on the skin. Now, Stacy recently starred in season 11 of Ink Master. Does anybody watch Ink Master here? And we've never had a tattoo artist on our stage. Stacy is the first, so we're excited about that. Ladies and gentlemen, here to speak to us on our global theme of Surreal, please welcome Charlotte's own Stacy Smith. Come on up, Stacy.
So much Creative Mornings for having me, and thank you everyone that made it out here so early this morning. I don't know about anyone else here, but I've never been at a brewery at this time of the day. Surreal. When I say that word, I think that a lot of you automatically go to famous household artists like Salvador Dali. To me, a surreal moment is when your dreams take action and meet your reality. I'm sure all of you already know my name is Stacy Smith. I'm 31 years old, I'm an artist, I'm also a tattoo artist, and I'm the owner of Tattoo Me Charlotte. Once upon a time, not that long ago, I started dreaming of my life at a very young age. By the time I was 15 years old, I knew exactly what I wanted to be. I wanted to become a tattoo artist. You can imagine the look of horror on my parents' face when I proclaimed my career choice barely in high school. But they supported me through all of through all of their fears. My mom's actually here today. She definitely tried to get me to look into other career paths, but I knew what I wanted, and I was a very, very stubborn child, so she still supported me through all of it. I was determined to become the woman I was dreaming to be. I worked day in and day out, and very slowly I started to see all of my dreams be present in my everyday life. So a lot of you here are probably artists and creatives. Being a tattoo artist is unlike any other artistry in our industry. It involves another human. It involves their body, their mind, their spirit, and their energy. It is different from any other art form because it also involves the largest organ on the human body, the skin. Most tattoo artists can pick up a piece of clay or a paintbrush. They can give you a masterpiece. I don't really know of any sculptors, though, that could probably pick up a tattoo machine and execute a perfectly done tattoo. Being a tattoo artist has a lot to do with the client as well. I'm altering their world. I'm altering the way that the world sees them, the way that they see themselves. I'm altering the relationship that they also have with themselves. Creating a visual that they have dreamed of, that they want to become their reality. I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite clients. Her name is Bridget. Bridget is in her early 20s, and she drove over 2 hours to meet me. She was probably just as nervous and excited as I am now to speak with you guys for her tattoo appointment. She told me about the dreams that she had for her art on her body. I tried to cultivate her dreams to reality. It is one of those things where I have to listen to the person and I have to almost enter their mind with them. I have to make what they have in their mind present on their body. How many people in here have a tattoo? Yeah, business is good. How many people in here think you could apply a tattoo to the body? I can. I know a place. I was also on season 11 of Ink Master, a reality TV show. It's probably one of the hardest things that I have ever attempted. It's kind of interesting how there really isn't anything real about reality TV. Being on the television show, I didn't know how these things were going to be portrayed to the public. It is hard to say, being on the show, how are they going to make me look? I had a dream of, how I wanted to be perceived and how I wanted to be presented to the public. But they do spin things in different ways, and they like to cultivate something that it's hard to say, is this real? Or is this how they're trying to make it seem? Surreal to me is when reality meets the dream, where everything seems to fall perfectly together, when you have to constantly ask yourself, am I dreaming? Thank you.
Thank you. Who has questions for Stacy? It could be about, okay, great.
I just wanted to ask about the guidance that you share with clients when they ask you about advice on where to place it on their body, because
Absolutely.
you know how that comes out.
When someone comes to me and they have an idea of an image, but they are unaware of the body, I tell them to think of the shape of the image. For example, your forearm is a vertical rectangle, or your thigh can be more of an oval area. So when you have an image that you really want, but you're unaware of the placement, then I would say look at the shape of what you want, and then figure out what part of your body is that shape. And if you can't figure it out, I'll definitely help you. Also, if you're more prone to being like, I just want a tattoo on my forearm or my thigh or my calf or my back, then any artist that you go to is going to design your image based on the placement so that it fits the body. Also, it's very important that your image flows with your muscle structure. If the body is working against the tattoo, or the tattoo is working against the body, you're going to say to yourself, well, that looks good, but something's off. So you really want that energy to flow with your piece, and you want it to just all look like, it was there the whole time.
Can you speak a little to the fears that you had with starting a business, being a business owner, and also some tips and pointers for female business owners in the current climate?
Yes, I would definitely tell you, this is actually my co-owner right here, Heather. We've been, stand up! She's short, so you might not. We've actually been best friends throughout all of high school, and she managed a marina in the Charlotte area for a long time, so I'm an artist. I think when it comes down to being a business owner, that you need to figure out who you're gonna be with in this journey, because it's impossible to do a lot of things alone, and it's not as much fun. So when I decided to open my own business, I played on my strengths. I played on my ability to, talk to people and bring people into my shop, my ability to give them perfectly executed tattoos and be very creative, but I'm not good at organizing paperwork. So that's where Heather comes in. She's our manager. She's an awesome business manager. It's not about the money. It's not about the success. It's about your life, and it's about the people that you bring with you in your life.
Hey, good morning. I've been
Hi.
getting inked up since I was 16. And
Where are they?
They're all over.
Okay.
They're kind of private to me. But I've been noticing the last few tattoos I've gotten have been done by women. I used to get them done by men, and I've noticed there's a marked difference in how a woman tattoos me, and I was just wondering what your take on it. I prefer getting tattooed by a woman now because they tend to take more time about it, more details around it, and I was just wondering what your take was on that.
Absolutely, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but the tattoo industry has exploded in the last 50 years. It is so incredibly mainstream. Anytime you turn on television, you can see someone that has a tattoo. Anytime you open your phone, you get on Instagram, you see tattoos. And the difference in the industry is now you can create your own. In a surreal way, you can dream up what your tattoo is gonna be and then have it on your body. In 2012 was the first year that more women were tattooed than men. That's insane. So with more women being tattooed, now there are more women entering this industry. We are not that much different than guys. I've worked around men my entire life. I think that the only other difference between a woman and a man is I think a girl probably has a little bit more of a pleasing personality when it comes to her client, and not so incredibly overbearingly possessive of the art. Instead of it being my tattoo I'm putting on you, it turns into, what do you want? What do you dream of? How can I make you happy? And it's impossible to make everyone happy. But I do notice that nurturing presence that you're talking about. And I think it just comes from, women being raised to have children and be a caregiver and taking care of everyone around us. It's just how we were brought up, especially in the South. So if you get a tattoo artist in the South, she's probably going to baby you a little bit more than your big burly local tattoo artist will. He's like, you better just sit still and take it. A girl's gonna be like, are you okay? Do you need some water? Do you need a brownie?
Hey, good morning. First of all, just kudos to you for having the self-possession and confidence at such a young age. As a woman, I've been
I
in
get it
arts.
from my mama.
Well, I think you're very lucky in that support. A lot of artists have their parents try to steer them other directions.
They wanted to. I think that they're afraid I would be someone else. I think that when I said I want to be a tattooist, my mom was like, I won't recognize you after. You're going to shave your head. I don't know.
So do you recognize her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look pretty much exactly the same from high school.
Well, good job, Mom. So I've been an arts administrator. I'm an artist myself for almost 20 years. And what I hear from artists a lot is it's so hard to meet peers and hard to gain the peer support by finding other artists in the community just for social time. So I was curious about how you find, you're sort of different. You're bringing in clients daily, so you're interacting with people all the time. A lot of the artists that I know are slaving away in studios on their own, lonely, depressed, etc. Two aspects to my question. How do you find your social circle of other artist peers, and what do you talk about? And especially in Charlotte, because we've had such an influx in the last 5 years of artists from everywhere. And second, there's sort of a perception out there that tattoo artists and street artists, i.e. graffiti artists, are sort of, going together. And I'm just curious what you would say about that.
I would definitely say that it is true that a lot of artists can be socially awkward. And with the career path that I chose, I have been working with people for 10 years. I've been working with people in the fact that I am going to alter your physical, and you need to trust me. And 100% of that trust is put on me. There's no one else that is going to do this tattoo for that person. They're not going to do it. Like, give them the machinery. You got it? I got to go. So I think that with a lot of artists that don't work with people, if you're not practicing social, you're not going to be social. If you're not interacting with humans and picking up on their energy, then granted, it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to do. So with a lot of artists out there, I think that awkwardness just comes from the canvas doesn't talk back. So I don't know who you're hanging out with. Graffiti artists, I'm not really sure I know that many, but I do know a lot of tattoo artists. And I do think there is a certain hardcore persona to them that, hasn't been broken from 50 years ago. That these just burly, aggressive people are doing these tattoos, and it has changed. The industry is changing every single day. And when I do get together with different artists and we are able to be social with one another, we share tips. A lot of different little tricks and trades of the game on how to make your job easier, especially with tattoo artists. What your needles, what machine are you using, what inks are you using? We want to give the best possible result for anyone coming into a tattoo shop. We're not going to sit here and just reserve my knowledge so that Joe messes up his next client. Because at the end of the day, the client is the most important part. The person getting the art, the person buying the art is important. So if we could all come together and share all of the knowledge that we have, all that art can do is grow and become something that people have never seen before. People see tattoos that I've done and they're like, I just don't think it's real. It looks painted on the skin. My clients come back and they say, people ask me, is that real? Is that a real tattoo on you? I cannot fathom it. And that's because of knowledge that I've gained from other tattoo artists. And especially on Ink Master, I was surrounded by some of the greatest artists in this country that got on that show. And I can tell you, when I came home, I felt like I was in tattoo boot camp and I was an expert. Of little tricks and other things, it's just share. And even if you are socially awkward and you've been in your studio for 5 months, I don't know, I don't have a studio, but go and talk and don't be afraid. It is scary to talk to different people, but just know that we're all the same. We are very, very much the same, and to share that knowledge is only going to make everyone better.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stacy Smith from Tattoo Me Charlotte.